Hey Canucks fans, hope you're well. A few smaller Canucks related news items today and a word about Steve Dangle's big announcement from earlier this morning. But before I get into all of that, I want to remind you and invite you to my regular live stream tonight, 11 p.m. Pacific time, right here on this YouTube channel, where we'll go more in depth into a few of these topics and I'll answer all of your questions as always. The first one, Arturs Silovs named as one of 7 finalists for the IIHF International Ice Hockey Federation Male Player of the Year. Yes, 7 finalists representing 5 different countries, and he's in there against guys like Connor Bedard and Adam Fantilli of the World Junior team. You got Dominic Kubalik in there. You also have JJ Peterka and Moritz Seider and one other guy that I haven't heard of. So it's the 7 guys, and Arturs Silovs obviously coming off that wonderful performance. Latvia winning the bronze medal in the World Championships, and Silovs being named the tournament MVP, not just all-star team, not just Latvia's best player, but the best player of the entire tourney. Obviously, that's very good for the Vancouver Canucks, their organization, its fans. He could be the heir apparent once Thatcher Demko moves on, whenever that's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be soon. Don't worry. Don't quote me. But yes, a great feather in the cap for Arturs Silovs, not only tournament MVP, but also finalist, one of 7 finalists for IIHF Male Player of the Year. Well, I don't know when they're going to announce the winner, but to be among that company is pretty cool. So good. Congratulations to Arturs Silovs. Secondly, this is also Canucks related, is Gavrikov signed with the LA Kings, a big 2-year contract worth just under $6 million a year. And of course, the Kings were part of that big 3-way trade: Flyers, Blue Jackets, and Kings. I'm not going to break it all down. I didn't memorize all the assets that every team got and gave up. But this is related to the Canucks because Gavrikov is a Dan Milstein client. Milstein obviously represents guys like Andrei Kuzmenko, and Ilya Mikheyev on this Vancouver Canucks team. So I think some Canucks fans, were holding out hope that Gavrikov would come here. Then they realized that we have absolutely no cap space to make a signing like that. So overall, though, I think, just an interesting story. Not hugely impactful on the Canucks, but still, Dan Milstein's a name that we've heard a lot in this market in the last couple of years because of his Canucks clients, like I said, Kuzmenko and Mikheyev. Speaking of Russian Canucks players, I want to talk very quickly about Vasily Podkolzin and how his name has come up in the last little bit around here in Vancouver because someone from his draft class, the 2019 draft class, signed a massive contract, and naturally, then you draw comparisons between the 2 players, even though I would say those comparisons aren't that fair. Of course, I'm talking about Cole Caufield. He signed an 8-year contract, just under $63 million. So that's basically $7.9 million a season with the Montreal Canadiens. Caufield was picked 15th overall in 2019. That was the draft that was here in Vancouver. I was at that draft. I saw this happen, and Podkolzin was picked 5 picks earlier at 10th overall. Now, Caufield, he has like 80-something points in 123 games. So he's basically a 0.6, 0.7 points per game player in his career, where you have someone like Vasily Podkolzin, who only has 33 points to his name in about 118 games. I think it's way too early to call Podkolzin a bust. I think we got to remember he's 21. He's turning 22 years old at the end of this month. Actually, his birthday is just a couple days after mine. His birthday is on June 24th. Mine is on June 22nd. Don't forget. But he's not the same type of player as Cole Caufield. Cole Caufield is an offensive dynamo, fast, great hands, and that's going to be his calling card for his entire career. Podkolzin plays hopefully more of a 2-way game, tougher along the boards, more of a playmaker as opposed to a goal scorer. But everything that we were saying, all the good stuff that we were saying about Podkolzin 4 years ago when we drafted him at 10th, we should still be saying now. I'm not saying at all. I'm not worried that he's a bust, that he's another a betting bust or whatever like that. I still think that there's a lot of time for him to develop. He's only on the final year of his ELC. Now, Caufield gets his new contract because he started a year earlier. He burned the first year of his contract earlier. So next year, Podkolzin will be in line for his new contract. It's certainly not going to be $63 million for 8 years, but maybe it'll be an increase over his basically 900 ELC contract. Maybe it's a 1.5, maybe it's a 1.8, maybe it's a $2 million. Who knows? Depends on how well he does this season. How is he going to do this season? Well, we know there's a log jam at forward, especially at wing for the Vancouver Canucks. Right now, you still have all three of Beauvillier, of Garland, of Besser. You have a returning Mikheyev. You have, obviously, Andrei Kuzmenko. So that's already 5 guys that you would say are ahead of the depth chart, ahead of Podkolzin. Then what about a guy like Niels Hoglander who expects to make a big push? And that doesn't even include a guy like Tanner Pearson, who's still working to come back. So now Podkolzin is 7th or 8th on the depth chart. So what's Podkolzin going to max out to be? I think he's going to cap out as a middle 6 player. So I could see him as a second line player. I could see him as a third line player. I don't see him as a top line winger, and I'm not necessarily saying he has to be that. And I know a lot of people are going to look at the stats so far, and they're going to see that of the 9 players picked ahead of him, only 2 have fewer points in their NHL career so far. One of them, Alex Turcotte, doesn't have any points yet. He's played 12 games for the Kings. And the other one is a defenseman. Who was it? Oh, the guy, not Bouchard, the other guy. His name escapes me, but there's another defenseman who doesn't have as many points. Maybe it is Bouchard, I can't remember, and who doesn't have as many points as Podkolzin, but all the other players do. And that's a draft class that started with Jack Hughes and Capocacco are up there as well. And then you also have guys like Trevor Zegras in there, Dylan Cousins, who've got a lot of points so far. And even a few guys that were picked after Podkolzin have more points than him, like a Matthew Boldy and Tomasino and guys like that. So again, I'm not at all saying that Podkolzin's a bust. I like him a lot. I was there. I cheered for him when the Canucks drafted him back on June 21st, 2019. Yes, it was the day before my birthday. I remember that as well. But I'm expecting big things for him. And I think Podkolzin will be expecting big things from himself as he looks to earn a new contract with the Vancouver Canucks a year from now. Finally, Steve Dangle. I knew this was coming because I just know things. And Steve Dangle announced formally that he's leaving Sportsnet after 9 years with the company because he's going to focus full-time on his new company, Sdpn, the Steve Dangle Podcast Network. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Steve. I think he's going to do just fine, betting on himself, so to speak. And I say that because I'm one of the contractors with Sdpn because I host Game Over Vancouver along with Sam Chang and Kaya as well. So I'm excited for Steve. He joins Adam Wilde, who just quit his full-time his radio gig to go full-time with Sdpn, joining Jesse Blake, who's already been full-time for a while. So it's Steve, it's Adam, and it's Jesse, and they're going to do Sdpn full-time, which is pretty exciting. It's a bit of a risk, but it's kind of cool that in a industry where a lot of people are losing jobs and networks and companies are downsizing, that this company, Sdpn, is going to be continue to grow. And my guess is they're going to grow quite rapidly now that Steve and Adam are joining Jesse as full-time. As for me, I like what I'm doing for them right now. The occasional stream, I do about a third of the Vancouver Canucks streams, post-game streams for Sdpn Game Over Vancouver. So along with that, and then Canucks After Dark, and then my own stuff here on this channel. I think it's a nice little mix where I'm not spreading myself too thin, but I'm also dabbling in a couple of other things aside from this channel. So congratulations to Steve Dangle, to Sdpn. I'm blessed to be part of that team, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for the entire crew. All right, Canucks fans, let me know what you think about any of those things. Arturs Silovs, finalist for IIHF Player of the Year, the Gavrikov contract, i.e. a Milstein client, Podkolzin versus Caufield versus others in his draft class. And let me know if you watched Sdpn, if you like Steve Dangle, and if you think that that's a model that's going to be successful in the future. Love to read all your comments, so leave a comment below. And I hope to see you tonight at 11 p.m. for my live stream right here on this YouTube channel. Shout out to my sponsors, Vancouver Experts Real Estate and Perform Transform Personal Training Weight Loss. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovenlander, and legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. Thanks for your support. And thanks to all of you for watching and subscribing. Always appreciate you. Never take you for granted. On your way out, subscribe, like the video, leave a donation, become a member or upgrade your membership. Leave a comment down below too of anything, on anything that I talked about for the previous 10 minutes now. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.